Well, good Wednesday to you. And today what I want to talk about is being a martyr. Last Friday was the feast day of St. Agatha. She was a martyr and a virgin. In the gospel, we also heard about John the Baptist being beheaded, and he was a martyr. Now, one of the things that I know is never ever repeat a homily, and you're going to get the biggest gist of the homily that I gave last Friday. It isn't because I think that I gave such a wonderful homily. It's only because when I first put the homily together, I was just absolutely intrigued that we are all martyrs, or we at least can be martyrs. And being a martyr doesn't mean that you have to shed blood. The word martyr means to witness. So that being the case, the church is full of present-day martyrs. In 1983, Saint Pope John Paul II said about martyrs, "Today there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of witnesses to the faith. They are often unknown to or forgotten by their contemporaries or by public opinion, which finds its attention is taken up by other more engrossing events and personalities. Often only God knows them." God never asks us to shed our blood. His only desire, our only desire, should be to proclaim the truth in word or deed. But to be that witness, to be that martyr, takes the virtue of fortitude. Now, I'm not very good at what the gifts of the Holy Spirit are. I know fortitude is one of them, but I looked it up for a definition, and the definition is courage in pain or adversity. So remember that. To be a martyr, to be a witness, we have to have fortitude, which is courage in pain or adversity. St. Thomas teaches that this virtue is manifested in two types of acts. One is to do good, the other is to resist evil and difficulties. To do good in the face of difficulties and dangers, it may entail courage and audacity. To resist evil and difficulties, we need to do it in such a way that they don't lead to despondency. That resisting evil requires patience and perseverance. But each day, if you think about it, we're all given these same opportunities to practice that virtue by overcoming our moods, avoiding useless complaints, smiling when it's difficult to do so, persevering in our work when we feel tired, correcting people when necessary, but doing it with a kind and generous heart. Now, we've made the decision to become a martyr, but that decision needs to be made each day and every moment. The Christian has to be strong to set out and continue every step along the way. To persevere, there are internal and external obstacles. We'll create our own way not to become a martyr just within ourselves, or the world will provide us with those reasons not for us to be a martyr. And we have to avoid straying away from what it takes to be a martyr. God created our hearts in such a way that only He can satisfy our longing for happiness. So He designed us to be happy. And the only way we can be happy is to seek God. Being patient requires us to deal with those everyday obstacles. Be understanding with others when it seems that they're not improving or aren't interested. I think of how long it took me to decide to become a Catholic, and you know, if you know my story, it was 14 years after I married Brenda. I'm not the quickest learner in the world. And for the people who are in charge of others, which is just about everybody, parents, teachers, those in charge of formation for priests and deacons, they need to have a special patience to draw out the good of those that they are in charge of. God asks us to give him our lives in gradual steps, little by little. We do that by not remaining quiet when people want to put God in parentheses, so often the case in today's world. We do that by a good example through our work, charity, and understanding of everyone. We do it by keeping silent in the face of an unjust accusation. Very difficult. Knowing when to refute doctrine that is erroneous takes those little steps, because it's often a difficult situation for us to correct somebody else. I know all these steps and suggestions on how we can become martyrs sounds like a tall order, but it's not impossible. And I'm going to draw one final thing that came from the office of reading last Friday for St. Agatha. It says, "But as for me, helped by the Lord, I shall stand firm in proclaiming his praises. He has become my salvation and my consoler." So go and glorify the Lord by your life.